I was wondering, when it comes to one-on-one pass rush drills, what's the ratio for you as far as wanting to win the drill and working on specific things that you're currently working on, moves, whatnot?
I think anybody would tell you O-line or D-line, it's not the most realistic thing compared to a team rep, but it's definitely a good tool to work on, maybe something you wanted to work on. For me, going against Trent, it's just trying to win whatever way I can. But I don't know. I try not to get too caught up in the one-on-ones because then it could kind of throw you off for the rest of practice. If you lose a couple, then you might get angry and not focus as hard the rest of practice. Or if you win a couple, get too confident going into the next the next period. But ratio, I mean, I try and split them at least split them one win, one loss. That's what I'd hope for. You're not going to beat Trent clean very often, so getting a clean win on him is a good feeling.
Nick, it's Cam Inman here. Trent was saying going into camp he was going to use you as a tool to knock the rust off. So how much rust did he have, and how much has come off just in these first 5 practices?
I obviously have never played him before, so I don't know exactly how he was before, but it definitely seems like he's feeling great and playing really well. I'm definitely confident in Jimmy's left side. Not that the rest of the O-line isn't great, but having Trent it's going to be a huge help for him. But no, it's really fun to go against him every day. He's really he's not a dirty player at all. Like, he's not pushing you after plays. He's just getting good work in between the whistles, and it's definitely, you have to come with the right mindset every day and not let the bad reps get to you as much. But from what I've seen, he's going to be very helpful this year to us.
Hey, Nick, it seemed like you went over to Jimmy and spoke to him about his left side the other day at practice. Have you spoken to him? Was there a conversation that included Trent?
I've definitely told him he's gonna have some time on the left side if he but yeah, I mean, Jimmy's been spoiled with Joe and now Trent, so it doesn't get much better.
Nick, this is Chris Biederman from the Sacramento Bee. You had mentioned your off-season regimen didn't make you look like a bodybuilder. Have you slimmed down? Have you dropped a little bit of weight? And also, Robert Saleh said, despite you maybe being a little bit leaner, he thinks you're stronger. I was wondering if you could confirm that.
Well, I haven't lost really any weight. I was a little lighter coming in, but I think I burn more calories in my training than I do at practice, which is pretty. I thought it would go the other way around, but I'm starting to put on a few more pounds with how much I'm able to eat being around the facility, and I love where I'm at physically. And what was the other question?
Robert Saleh said that despite you maybe being a little bit lighter, he noticed you're stronger. Do you feel stronger?
I got you. Yeah, I mean, all my numbers have gone up over the off season, so I'm hoping that I'm stronger and more explosive, and I feel like I am. Sometimes it's not about how much muscle mass you put on. It's more how you train, and I think we did a really good job this offseason.
Hey, Nick, the other day, Robert Saleh was talking about how you guys have been very intentional about building out this defensive line and the importance of pressure. I'm sure every team wants that, of course, but do you guys as a group, do you talk about that? Are you aware of the idea that you are kind of the focal point of this defense? And if so, does that add any motivation for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, Chris makes it pretty known to us, our D-line coach, that the front office expects not just good out of us, they expect great. And if we're not great, then we're not going to be as good as we need to be. When you invest a lot in a D-line room and you expect to get the return on it, and yeah, we use that as motivation every day. With John's out there watching us, we just want to prove him to be smart and that he put money in the right place. And yeah, we definitely come out with that mindset every day.
Hey Nick, Jake Hutchinson, you said you worked on a cross chop and a spin move over the summer. How are those coming along? And then Javon has basically had to go into this, all the rookies, without OTAs and rookie minicamp. How valuable were those experiences for you?
The cross chop I haven't used yet. It's kind of tough on Trent. He doesn't really give you his outside hand. And then the spin, I hit a couple counter spins. I definitely feel more natural using it. So that's good. And you said OTAs and minicamp. It was just great for me to get. I hadn't played for a while, so it was good to just get my hands and feet tied together and just get back on the field. That's really when you learn the scheme and get your aiming points and your get off and all the little things that you really need. That's where you iron them out. And for Javon, he didn't have that. He had a lot of Zoom meetings, and he knows everything mentally. He's just got to be able to do it at a little higher rate with offenses lining up quickly. And but he's done a really great job, and I expect him to make strides throughout camp.
And Nick, at least one more Trent Williams question here. You are not a small individual, but sometimes, watching you go against him, you look tiny. Have you gone up against a guy that has, obviously a lot of big left tackles in the NFL or college, but have you gone against a guy that combines the athleticism and size like he does?
I have not. I'd say the closest is probably Dwayne Brown from Seattle, but no, he's honestly not as tall as I thought he was going to be, which kind of makes him more difficult because he's got a really low center of gravity, and it's tough to power him and get underneath him, which is something that I like to use to my advantage. And for him, he plays so low to the ground, and he could bend so well that he's never really up high and exposing himself to power. And on normal moves that I would usually be happy about and probably beat other offensive linemen with pretty cleanly, he's right in your hip pocket when you're making the burst to the quarterback. So just his ability to recover and get back in front of you is elite.
Nick, it's Cam again, and I got a question to take you back to the Super Bowl media night back in Miami when you were asked by a Chinese reporter about the coronavirus. And it was something that we weren't talking about then. And you had a pretty mature, informative response telling everybody to wash their hands and be safe. How did you know to say that? And just, I mean, do you remember that? And just what do you think of how the protocol's gone so far?
Yeah, no, I definitely remember that because people thought it was pretty funny. I had never really heard of the virus at that point, but I remember somebody talking about just make sure we're washing our hands and being smart about it. So that's what I just said it, and it turned out to be one of the most important things you could do to avoid it, which is pretty much any virus. But yeah, was there another question to that? Oh, the protocols have been going great. I've honestly forgot that it's going on at some points because everything's running so smoothly in here. So it's just been good to get my mind off of what's going on and just focus on football. And I think the protocols are going really well. Obviously, we haven't had too many cases, and I'm just hoping that we could continue to be smart throughout the whole year.
Hey, Nick, it's Tracy Sandler. Today's practice seemed very physical, very high energy. With no preseason, how important is it to have days like this?
I think it's very important, obviously, to be smart and practice the right way, which our coaches emphasize, because as much as practice is important, having your players healthy is important. And but yeah, just the game intensity and getting our win back and getting back in football shape is very important.
Hey, Nick, throughout these one-on-ones with Trent, what is something that you specifically have learned and improved on just because you've been facing off with him?
Just how to attack him specifically, and just changing up how I approach each rush. You can't really have anything set in your mind that you're gonna do concrete, like a plan. Like, I always have a plan before my rush, but with him, he changes up his set and where he makes contact with you and how he shoots his hands, and he changes it up daily and almost every play, it seems like. So it's just forced me to react a little bit more and just learn new ways to beat different hand punches and grabs, and I'm just learning a bunch of good stuff, so hopefully it'll help me out this year.
Hey, Nick, Kyle Posey, Niners Nation. I was wondering, so it looked like Kentavious Street was really active today. So can you just talk about how he's been and just what you're seeing from him?
Street's been awesome. He's had a frustrating start to his career, and the fact that he's healthy, feeling great, and really dominating, like, I think we all knew he could dominate because of the physical traits he has, but to see him actually start to put it together in game situations out on the field, it's really encouraging, and I think he could be a huge help to us.